Hey, this is Talani Person, and I hope all is well with you. I want to talk to you about what do you do when you get an idea? You may feel like I don't know where to start, or you may have made many attempts in starting and kind of move forward with it, but became stuck, and you like, okay, what do I do? I want to share with you first a story of a lady that I was watching on a show, and she was excited about wanting to market, like, for example, barbecue sauce. And this is the catch. She had just retired from the military at 22 years, but her greatest fear was like being independent, of being her own boss. And she identified that she just came from a structured environment. It's like I have this fear of how do I move into an environment, just experiencing my passion and really, her purpose of wanting to sell cooking sauces. I was so excited with her. I understood where she was at. I applaud her and very appreciative of her service in the military. One area that I identified with her immediately is that place of being stuck and not knowing what to do, but most importantly, uh, trying to move forward in the condition of a mindset that you're used to. So, for example, I'll give you, I worked in government for 18 years. So, when I started my job, it was not free of independent thinking, it was according to policies and procedures. So, when I spoke with clients, I had to talk to them in the language of government, giving them policy and procedures, along with, writing and communicating through email. It was very structured. Now the thing about that is that that worked for that time, but when we're talking about you and who you're created to be, the God of the universe who created you is giving you this idea. And this idea that he gives you, it comes with independent thinking. Independent thinking is required. Independent thinking is absent of logic and is absent of limitations. It's in this zone for you to nurture that idea that God placed in your heart. And that's really what we call God's wisdom. From a Christian perspective, God's wisdom is so much to God's wisdom. I'm unable to share in this video all of it, but if you want to give the description of what God's wisdom is his intellect. God's intellect. So when God says think your way through, like he spoke to me, what he's saying is that you have this idea and my wisdom is available for you to think your way through this. Wisdom, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 describes that Jesus was made unto us wisdom. And one description of Jesus is being the word in flesh. And what God's word, which is his wisdom, what it does is it help you identify where you're at, help you identify with where you need to be, and help you through that process, that gap from where you're at and where you need to be. God's wisdom will help close that gap so you can think your way through this process, thinking your way past the limitations or the logic that's really like a smoke screen to what God really has for you to do. And so I just want to challenge you to just seek God's wisdom. And how do you do that? James chapter 1 verse 5 says, if any person lack wisdom, let him ask God. So you ask God for wisdom. He is waiting and will give it to you. But the key to this is that number one, you have to believe God's wisdom, and you have to definitely do it without doubting. You can't doubt it in this process. This comes with God's instructions and his guidance. So I want to encourage you to continue to think about that idea that you have, And God's wisdom, where do you need to apply it in your life? So, with that being said, I want to encourage you to continue to own your truth and live your vision. Blessings.